But while we're talking about this, I do want to address one thing, Lewis. You know, as you know, and everybody knows, I do look at the comments on YouTube, and I got a lot of abuse last week because everybody said that I was making excuses for Jon Jones. And
how's that fence you're sitting on, Mike?
I ain't sitting on no motherfucking fence, bitches, okay? And if you want to come round, I'll stick this fence up your ass, okay? I said, you can't argue with what the scientists have said, right? If they say, I'm not a scientist. Are you a scientist, Lewis? Or all you dumb fucks on the YouTube comments, are you scientists? No, they're saying that it is believable and plausible. It was in his system since last time in 2017. So therefore, they're allowing the fight to go on. Okay, that's what I said. And I said, if they say that, then you've got to believe the science behind it. That's why they get paid. Do I think the whole thing is bullshit? Of course I do. I think it's ridiculous. I think that he shouldn't be in there. It's very black and white. Just like when you take a sobriety test, you get pulled over, they suspect you of drink driving, you got alcohol in your system, you're fucked. It should be the same thing with steroids. I've said it the whole time. My stance on that hasn't changed. I was just saying, I understand I kind of understand why they're allowing this to go on, but I still think the thing was suspect. I still think the thing was very fishy. I still think the whole thing was bullshit, if I'm honest. But it is what it is. The commissions, the scientists, they made this ruling, and you just got to fucking deal with it. Sitting here and crying about it isn't going to change anything.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, we've heard, before rumors of there being, massive issues with steroids in the sport. And this is a guy who's getting caught. You got to think of how many times, guys are going in and fighting other fighters that aren't getting caught. So I think that sometimes.
And if he wasn't cheating in the first place, then they wouldn't have been there in the first place. So I have really, really limited sympathy. In fact, I have no sympathy at all for the situation that he's in. As I said, I've met Jon. I've been around him. I always have very positive interactions. Some of the things that he's done over the years, yeah, of course, they're terrible. But as I say, I always had interactions. I take people on face value. But I got no sympathy with the drug testing bullshit because it's not a case of there being no smoke without fire. There's a fucking fire all over the place. You tested positive 3 times. You know what I mean? So it's not a case of no smoke, no fire. You tested positive 3 times, and the reason they're in your system is your fucking fault. So zero sympathy.
Well, he denied taking steroids. So this isn't even my original thought. Somebody tweeted this out, but it was a great tweet. They were like, he was like, I never took steroids, and then they were like. The reason you have, this in your system is because it was left over from the last time you took steroids. And then he's like, yeah, that's it. So it's like he's almost admitting that he took steroids in the past now, even though he always denied it in the first place.
I know, because now guess what? Admitting the last time gets him off this time.
Yes.
But you denied last time. Yes. So which is it, right? You're just cheating all over the place. And guess what? The sad reality is he's not the fucking only one.
Right.
Apparently, and I saw this, I saw, if you go on the Joe Rogan, and far be it from me to, I'm not trying to diminish the Joe Rogan podcast or anything like that, but I watched the Jeff Novitzky Joe Rogan episode. I was on the Peloton bike and I had it on. I was watching. It was very interesting. And then I looked at the comments because I was kind of curious to see what the public perception was, whether or not they were buying it. So I looked at the comments, and there was one comment, big long comment, that had been reposted, copied and pasted thousands of times. And it said, this is a repost. The original podcast has been taken down, and this has been reposted with a bit edited out. And they were saying, shame on Jamie and this and that. And it goes into it, how he was taking a drug that only has a 2 to 4 hour shelf life. It's only detectable for 2 to 4 hours. And part of the side effects of that is turinable metabolites left over in your system. I don't know. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying what I read on the comment section there. It was kind of interesting. Check it out if you have time, if you're bothered, if you give a fuck. But anyway,
there's nobody else that has this many problems with getting tested over and over again. There's nobody that has the rumors about them hiding from, USADA underneath the mat. There's nobody that's coming up with dick pill excuses. There's nobody that's coming up with fucking every other thing.
Silva.
Yeah, I mean, it's just very, very convenient. And I think what it seems like, and I don't know Jeff Novitzky, and I'm not calling anybody a liar, but it seems like the whole Jon Jones situation, there is a plausible there's plausible deniability based off of science, right? So but it seems like it was reverse engineered, whether it's Jon Jones or whoever, they've reverse engineered the excuse. And they said, cool, I know that this will be the way that I could get off if there was a way to get off. And we've watched it happen with the dick pills. We watched it happen with over the counter supplements. And, you had mentioned it before. There's like a list of supplements, you can sort of use to get off or as an excuse.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're taking, I mean, this again is reverse engineering an excuse. Like Lyoto Machida, they came and tested him. He knows. If we believe Lyoto Machida was punished and sentenced for taking steroids, okay? So if you're Lyoto Machida and you're taking fucking, let's say it's Turinabol. It wasn't Turinabol, but let's just say that you're taking Turinabol, right? And you think, okay, what if you saw the show up and they test me and they find Turinabol? Okay, what supplements out there on the market have fucking Turinabol in them so I can say, oh, I was taking this. I had no idea. That's all you got to do. And you have a little sachet of it on the side. You know what I mean? And your wife says, you saw her at the front door. You say, shit, give me a fucking scoop of that. So they find the other stuff in it, simple as that. There you go. You're explained. You're off the hook. Maybe not off the hook, but off the hook in the court of public opinion.
Yes.
Oh, he didn't take steroids. He took a supplement over the shelf. And
that's the craziest.
Actually, he's the victim. I feel sorry for him. It's so bad. Poor guy took a fucking steroid.
He was just trying to get his dick hard.
I said this on the Rogan podcast, and I'll say it again now, and I've said it many, many times, right? And this partly alludes to me taking better care of my body in the year 2019. I haven't been very overly scrutinous. I have not scrutinized what I put inside my body. I got drug tested many times throughout the UFC. I used to get drug tested way before USADA, before and after every single fight. Then USADA started showing up at 5 o'clock in the fucking morning and testing me 3 times every camp. I'm not that guy that's reading the back of every container. What's in this? I'll be like, if it's for sale there, I generally think it's okay. So I drink it, I take it, whatever. And I never tested positive. And we'll leave that there. But well done, Joe. You gotta say well done. It's weird.
I will say well done, Joe. He's an unbelievable fighter. And it's a shame, in my opinion, it's a shame that he needs to take these shortcuts, because I believe that Jon Jones wouldn't need. I think he's talented enough of a fighter that he doesn't need the shortcut. And I think you almost put yourself into a dependency, whether it's psychologically, physically, or whatever else it is. I think that, it's a shame. More than anything else, the whole thing, the whole cloud that surrounds it, I go, God damn it, dude. You could just be the greatest ever. He could just be the greatest fighter ever with no questions asked. And he makes it very hard to like him. I don't understand the mentality of the guys who come out and defend him so hard on Twitter, like the fans, because I tweeted about how I think DC shouldn't let him redeem himself, and people are like, like, what are you talking about? DC needs to redeem himself. He got knocked the fuck out. It's like, how are you so behind a guy who, for all intents and purposes, has been cheating? We know this. How are you standing behind that guy? Because he's badass and he can knock people out? Sure, of course. But how are you not going like, oh, well, I don't want to fucking be behind that guy. He's Drago in Rocky IV. He's putting needles into his arm. He's got a whole fucking team of scientists behind him. That's not what you're rooting for. You're rooting for Rocky.
He's not just Drago in Rocky IV. Somebody tweeted something out yesterday. Who was it? It was somebody I know. The list of things that Jon Jones had done wrong since whenever it was. And it was a lot. There was a lot of things on there, but
what were they?
2 minutes ago, fucking multiple steroid tests, knocking this person over, taking cocaine, getting shit. He got stripped of the light heavyweight belt 3 times. I mean, I'll be honest, that's kind of gangster. It's kind of impressive for all the wrong reasons. But if you want to look at a guy and say, this guy doesn't give a fuck, man, he's been stripped of the belt 3 times, that's not something to be proud of. But, at some point, you got to look at it and say, wow, that's a lot. But if you look at the record, Gustafsson finished him, DC finished him, Rampage finished him, Machida finished him, Shogun, the list goes on and on and on. All the great light heavyweights, he beat them all. DC restore balance in the world.
Remember,
DC should restore balance in the world. Come out and beat Jon Jones, okay? That's what you got to do, DC. If you're watching this, man up. Come step into my office. I'll give you a few pointers. We can take him down, bro. We got this. All right. Before we get into the greatest moments or the best bits of Believe You Me 2018.
All right, guys, real quick, let's just take a moment and talk about one of our incredible sponsors, which is Blue Chew. I love Blue Chew. It is a performance enhancement drug for the bedroom. This is not if you have erectile dysfunction. I know some people get confused about that. This is basically a chewable version of either Viagra or Cialis. It's the same active ingredients as those drugs. So basically, it gets your penis hard. It gives you an erection. It makes sex that much better for yourself or your wife or husband or whoever else that you're having sex with. I live by it now, Michael Bisping. I'm telling you right now, I used to enjoy sex. Now I love sex.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I'm happy to hear. And every time we do this, you have to tell me that. And I just have this image in my mind of you having sex that I can't erase. But that said, Blue Chew is fantastic. It has the exact same ingredients that, all the well-known ones like Viagra and Cialis that they have. They are chewables, so they work faster than pills, actually up to twice as fast. You can take Blue Chew on an empty stomach, on a full stomach. Cheaper than those other two, by the way, the Viagra and the Cialis. Listen, it's like this. If sex was an Olympic sport, this would be banned. You know why? Because it'd be out there banging like Luis J. Gomez.
Exactly.
Like a crazy animal. It only takes a few minutes to get involved with this as well. You don't have to go to the doctor. You don't need to get a prescription or have an appointment. You just go online, you fill out the form. As I said, no doctor visit, no talking and saying, I can't get it up or anything like that. So, if this appeals to you, if you want to improve your bedroom experience, if you want to show your lady or your man a great time, then we certainly recommend this. And Lewis, tell the good people about the offer we have.
Right now, go to bluechew.com. That is BLUECHEW.com. And you get your first order for free when you use the promo code BYM. You pay $5 shipping, goes right to your house. There's no doctor's office. You do it all online. It shows up to your door in discreet packaging. Nothing to explain, no questions asked, and it's free. I mean, you try it out, see if you like it. This might change your sex life. I'm telling you right now, it changed my sex life. I love Blue Chew. Everyone here at Gas Digital, like 5 people at the offices have Blue Chew prescriptions now because it is that great, and we talk about it so much. So once again, that is bluechew.com. Use the promo code BYM to get a free trial of Blue Chew.